Okay, so as I said, for today's session on R programming, we are going to introduce you to R Commander. Okay, and basically in this session, I'll be covering some of the commands, how to create a data set, how to open a data set through R Commander, and then we'll also see use it to run some basic statistics and also create some graphs as well. Okay, so to begin with, the first thing I'll do is I'll start with R GUI. So while searching, you can see this R GUI is there, and because I have been using it to check it out how it is working. So if it is not visible, you can just put R GUI, and it's a basic app. Okay? It's the application where you get the R console. Okay, and you can create your programs from here as well. You can write the scripts. Okay, creating new scripts, everything is available. So because we are used to using R Studio, but remember, whatever coding I can do using R Studio can also be done through R GUI. Fine. Now, the first step which you're going to follow is to load a package called R Commander, and it is written as RCMDR. Okay. So to open this commander prompt, we are going to do is we are going to go to this packages option. So the packages option is here. Okay, and we see there's an option called load packages. Okay? So we can click on this. You get a list of packages which are already installed. If suppose some packages, especially this package, which if it is not installed, see that you install it, and you know how to do that. Install.packages, and you can give the name of the package. That is the way you can install it. And to open the package, you can click on this load package option. Okay, now search for this RCMDR. Okay, so I'll go down here. It is arranged in a sequence, alphabetical order. Okay, so whether we have this RCM, yeah, here it is. A capital R, CMDR, that is commander for R commander. Okay, click on this and say okay. Okay, as soon as you do this, you can see there's some, it's loading it, and here we get the R command. Okay, so what you can do is you can just go through this R commander. There are two windows you can see here. In fact, three parts. This is the first part where the scripts will come. Okay, like till now we have been writing all the scripts in a file, .r file. So suppose you want to go through this, through the file, we have some options. So script will be created for you automatically. Okay, and the output can be seen in this window here. And when you're executing this, when you're executing it, any error message, warning messages will come here. Okay, you can see this. There's one warning message which has come. It says Windows version of R Commander works best under RGUI with a single document interface. Okay, so we can just ignore the right now. We are not concerned about that warning. Clear? Now, to start with your R Commander, the first thing what we are going to do is we are going to include one data set. So I need to include one file, which is a CSV file, which I have created beforehand. Okay, I'll show you the structure as well, how it looks like. If you don't have, because you won't be having this, and just for the example, there are not lots of records in it. We have only three columns and some four rows I have inserted in this particular, you can say, CSV file. Okay, so to open this file, let us click on this. You can see this data option here. Okay, click on this data option. We can also create a new data set directly from here. Okay, and you can also use load data set if the data set is already created. Let us say today, if I'm creating some data set and I require tomorrow, okay, the next day, you need not open the file. You have to create a data set. It will be stored on your PC and you can make use of that data set. Okay. So right now I'll show you how to import a data, and then we create a data set. Okay. So I'll go to import data. Because it's a text file, it's just a CSV file. I'm going to use this. Now, for example, those who are working on SAS files and some SPSS data, or if they are working on Excel file, then they can easily make use of those files as well. Okay, so we have options to open a file or import the data from various you can say types of files here. Now, my file is a CSV file, so I'll be selecting text file option and click here. Okay. Now it will ask me to create a data set. It will ask me to create a data set. So I need to give a name to the data set. Now the name which I would like to give here is now the example which I'll be taking is based on the soil moisture. Okay, so the name which I want to give you is let us say cover moisture option. So I'll delete this one. I'll say cover underscore moisture. Okay, that's the name I'll give to the data set. Right? And what is a data set? What does actually happens is all the records from this file will be imported and stored in this data set, which is having the name cover underscore moisture. Okay, so henceforth I'll be working on the data set and I won't be working on the file. Please remember this. Okay, the second option, if you look at the second option, we have variable names in file. Okay, so uh, to show you that file, let me first show you that file first. So I'll go to the R code here and okay, this is one file. Let me check the type. Here, this one, np underscore c. I'll just open this in Notepad, okay, so that you can open it in your Excel as well. Now, this is the data. You can see the first row which I have are the column headings. Okay, so I have location, I have cover, and I have the option called soil moisture. Okay, and these are the values, and each of the value is separated by a comma. That is my delimiter. Okay, so I'll open this file. Let me minimize this. Coming back, and there's the reason I have given variable names in the file. I have given a check here tick, which will be default. If suppose you have a file which does not have a variable names in it, okay, it can happen. Okay, because you are not the one who's going to create that file. Okay, sometimes what happens, the data is provided to you, okay, by a company's head or someone who's handling the transactions and so on. So he might sometime he might not give you the variable names. Okay, in that case you have to study the data and you have to define your own variables. Okay, right now in this file we have variable names in the file, so this checkbox is ticked. Then we have the missing value or missing data indicator. Okay, so if a value is missing, I would like it to be represented as NA. Okay, so wherever the value is not there, it will be treated as NA. Right? The location of my file is on my, because it's on my own PC or laptop, so it is a local file system. Okay, if you want to take it from the internet and all, you can do that as well. Now, the field separator is not a white space, that is either a tab or a space character, but it is a comma. So I'll change this one. I'll select comma here. Okay. If you have some other symbol which is there, you can also use the other option and you can specify the delimiter here or the separator. Clear? The rest of the decimal point character is dot, okay, not a comma. That's fine with me. This is enough. I'll click on OK. If suppose this data set name is already there in my data list of data sets which I've stored, in that case, I'll get a warning. Okay, and it'll ask me whether I want to rewrite that. If it is not there, then it is going to just create this data set. Okay, so let me click on OK. Now here you can see this. I'm getting a warning which says that the dataset cover underscore moisture already exists. Do you want to overwrite this? I'll click on yes right now. Fine, and it is asking me to create a say this as a file name. Right now, I just click on cancel here and go back and check whether I have a data set. So here it is, cover moisture. So I can use this one or this one, both are there. Let me click on this. Okay. Now what you can do is if you want to give a name, you can give the name and open this data set. Okay, that's a different ways of doing it. Clear? Now, if I want to check what is the content in my data set which is here, I can click on this view dataset option, and it gives you this window here. It's such a small window. Let me close this because I think that location is not here. I'll remove this one and let me check the other one. Click on this. Now click on view. Okay, this is the right one because it has the location. Okay, so I have this column location, I have cover, and I have soil dot moisture. Okay, this is my three columns, and my values are there. 4 rows are already been passed, and I showed you this file as well, the text file. Okay, now you can also create a data set directly. If suppose you don't have a file, external file, okay, and you want to create a data set, you can do that by going on this data option and selecting the new data option, data set option. Okay, I'll show you this as well. But before that, let us try to make some changes here. Excuse me. Okay, or let us try to create a data set. Like I'll be creating the same type of a data set. So what I'll do is I'll click on data, just click on new data set. Okay, you can give a name to this data set here. Let us say I gave your D, say 21, or let us say data set 21. Okay, that's the name I want to give. I click on OK. And this is my data editor where I can add rows and columns as per my requirement. Now let us add some 2 more columns. I'll create the same type of the data set. So I have here 2 columns right now. I can enter the value directly if you want. Okay, so if I have to enter some values, let us say the location here, I can enter 1. Okay, I click on this other option, press enter here, say 60. Okay, if I want another column, I can make use of the tab button. Okay, without using this add column option, I can use the tab as well. Okay, so if I press tab, it is going to add a new column here. And the next value, let us say this is around 20. Right? To add a row, okay, I have to click on this. Okay, let me quickly create this records. Sorry, I have pressed the tab, so I got one more column. Let me use the click button. So this is 30. Add another row. This is 3, 45, 15, one more, 4, 19, and this is 50. Okay. Now I have got one additional column which I can easily delete it. So I can go to this edit option. We have this delete current column. But because I don't have it in the current column, I'll press here, I click on edit, and I can see delete current column. Okay, I get 3 columns now. Now the variable names can also be changed, but I won't do it here. I'll show you how to do it. So I click on OK here. Right? Data set has been created for me, and here you can see it is now data set 21. Okay, you can view the records. This V1, V2, V3. It's gone very extreme here. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Just close this. Let me change the name of the variables. You can also change the name of the variables and put the one which we were using before. So for that, what either I can make use of the variable editor, okay, or you can have an option. So I'll go to this data here, okay, and we have this option manage. You can say variables in the active data set. My data set which is active right now, which I've loaded. So here you can see we have a rename variable option. Okay, so I'll select this. Now one by one I need to do this. So I click on OK, give a new name. This was location. Click on OK here. So here you can see a script was created. Okay, and the data set, if I click on view now, you can see this location is there now. Okay, let me close this. I have to still change V2 and V3. Okay, so let me go back, manage, rename. So now I'll just do it quickly so that we get the second option was cover. Click OK. One more, the last one. Or the best way is when you're creating the data set itself, you can directly click on that variable name V1, V2 and directly change it there itself. Okay. Delete, okay, sorry, cancel. Data, manage, rename, V3. Okay. And this was soil moisture, that was the name. So soil dot, I'll put a dot here. Moisture. Okay, I'll click on. Let me put this as capital N. Okay. And now when I view my data set, you can see all these three different variables are the column headings. Okay. Now this is how you can, you also have options here. You can say load data set. I showed you how to load it. You can create a new data set. If you want to merge two data sets together, you can do that as well. Sometimes what happens is initially I got, let us say I got the text file. Okay, and after some few days, they gave me some new set files, some new records as well. So in that case, you need not, create the data set all together or merge the contents of two files in CSV and then create a data set. Easily, what you can do is you can create another data set and merge it together. If you require to use a single data set, you can do that, or you can merge it and use it as well. Okay, so that is an option which is also available. Clear? So import I've already shown you. So these are the three commands through which we were able to change the name of the column. Okay. Now let us do some statistics. Let us go to the statistics option. Okay. Now you can see here we have in the menu we have the statistics menu option here. Okay. And the basic one is let us say the summary. So let us go to the summary statistics and check what is the summary which is created for this particular data set. We can select a numerical summary here because I want the mean, median, and so on. Okay, even the quantiles. So IQR, if you remember, we had I showed you that there's a formula which is used to calculate IQR as well. If you remember during the box plot, we were discussing on the quantiles as well. Okay, so I'll click on this numerical summary. Okay, I get an option here. You can see all these variables are there. Okay, so cover, location, and all three gets highlighted. Now I will pick up the cover and the soil moisture. That is because location I'm not going to use it in my statistics right now. So I have to just click on cover and I can select the soil moisture as well. Now because I'm selecting multiple, okay, if I just click it, what will happen? The previous one will get unselected. So I need to press the control button and then click on the other variable so that I can select multiple variables. Okay, so please remember this, multiple variables can be selected using the control button. So keep your control key pressed and select the variable. Okay, next you can see here there are two tabs available. Data we have selected on which I want to create the numerical summaries. I'll go to the statistics option. Okay. Now these are the options which are available for you. So If you want mean, like mean is by default, mean and standard deviation, along with your interquartile range has been selected. If you want to know the standard error of mean, whatever, you can just click on this. Let us say I want to know the coefficient of variation as well. Okay, I won't go for the frequency count, because if you know that I have just very few data here. But this is will be very helpful when you have lots of data, huge data collection. Okay, so in that case, your mean frequency count will also matter. Then you can check it out for your skewness and your kurtosis as well. Okay. Now, last time also, if you remember, I told you you can just go through some statistics to understand all the terms. I will share some files for you, and there's one ebook as well on statistics, which I'll share in the Google Classroom, so that you can understand all these values. Okay, what does it mean? Now, skewness, if you remember that normal distribution, I think you have not done DS, right? Data set is not done. Fine. So I'll just draw one. Let me use the notation. Let us say here we have usually you'll have an axis like this, and it's not a proper one. And this will be your mean here. Okay, this is 0. Let us say this is 0. Okay, or you can call it as a mean. And you will have a distribution like this. It's a well curve, you can say. It's a normal distribution, okay, or standard distribution as well. In normal distribution, this will be 0. In standard distribution, this will be this center. Okay, and this both the halves. So you'll have value 0.5. So if I have to present the values, so 0.5 will be available here, probability values all. So both the halves, you can say this is 0.5 and this is 0.5. Okay. Now, you need not get a proper bell curve. You need not get a proper bell curve. Let us say, okay, and just remove this, get that pen. Let me close this back and get the pen. Okay, it can happen that, the curve is not exactly the curve which I want. So it can be like this something, okay, or it can be some curve like this and then like this, anything. Okay, so that shows the skewness of the shape of the curve which is there, of the distribution. Okay, that is what this skewness will give you. Okay, but we are not going to go into that right now. I'll just show you how to use it. Okay, some statistic knowledge, especially those who are not good in statistics, at least some basic statistics need to be done. Okay, right now I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to select this option. I've selected this standard error, of mean, and I've selected this other two values, which was by default. Quantiles, we are going to have 0, 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75, and this total should be always 1. Okay, I'll just click on OK here and see what I get. Okay, as soon as I do this, you can see this code has been created for you. Okay, the function which if suppose you do directly want to use it without you going to that statistics menu option and doing it, you can also type this out. But typing this, code is more cryptic than going to this menu option and simply going here, go to summary and numerical summary and just select it and complete it. That is much more easier. So you can see this whole code, it has been executed for you, and this is my outcome. So this is my outcome. Okay, this is my data. Okay. So here you can see for cover and soil dot moisture, I've got the mean value, I've got the standard deviation. Okay. Then this is your standard error, is the one which mean error which I had selected the option. IQR, this is for your quantiles, 0%, 25%, 50%, and so on. So how the values are distributed, but because there are only 4 values, that is displayed here. And this is the number of records which I have accessed here. Which is okay. It's a very basic you can say summary which I get for your data set, but it is very useful so that we can understand how the the data is distributed in your data set. And as I said, especially when you have lots of data, okay, this will be very useful to understand how the data is distributed. And from here also, this values which we have, that is from 0%, 25%, 50%, even that tells you where my value lies. Okay, so even this is important. And if you want to know more about this, you can refer to that box plot. Last time I had shared one link as well regarding the explanation how the box plot is plotted actually. Okay, where we get the median in the center and so on, and how the the quantiles are. Okay, now in the normal bell curve also, if I want to divide it into four halves, you can do that as well. Okay, we'll come to that later. Now through this data, if I want to get a plot, or you can say a graph, okay, I can easily create a graph to understand the relationship between these two variables, or these two columns, that is your cover and your soil moisture. Okay, and the best way of getting is using the scatter plot. Okay, so if I want to get a scatter plot, I can go to this graphs option. We have a graphs menu option here, and just 1 minute, guys, just 1 minute. Yes, okay. So if I want to get a plot, you can go to the graph menu option here. Okay, and you have lots of options available, and I'm interested in your scatter plot. So here is my scatter plot option. Okay, select this. Okay, you get a pop-up menu, sorry, a dialog window for your scatter plot. Okay, now in this, I need to select the X variable and the Y variable. Now in the X variable, I'll be selecting the cover variable. So I'll just select this option here. And on Y, I'll would like to plot the moisture. So I have to select soil moisture here. Okay. Now there are some options also available. So let us see those options. Okay. In the options, we have the plot options like the jitter X variable now, because now where we use jitter, when we have lots of values which can fall on the same point. Okay. And if I want to arrange it properly, I don't want it overlapping. In that case, I can make use of jitter. Okay. Right now, I don't require it. Neither I want to do the log and so on. So I'm not going to do anything right now. We'll see this, lines and everything. I'll just make a change in the label. So on the x-axis, because I have selected cover, I'll just put the label as cover percent. Okay, so cover and the percent sign. And on the y-axis label, I'll put soil moisture percent sign. Okay, if you want, you can give the title as well. So try to find relationship between. So relationship between cover and soil moisture. So this is what I'm giving right now. The rest, like if you want to increase the point size, and so on, you can do that. But right now, I'm not going to do anything here. I'm going to keep it by default. Okay, the legend is above the plot. I don't want it anywhere else. So I can just click on apply and check what happens. Okay, so I won't click on apply. I'll click on OK. Let's click on OK. Okay, as soon as I do that, I get this a new window comes up. And here you can see these are my points which are plotted. So there are 4 points, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, but this does not give me any great indication. But definitely with the increasing value of cover, the soil moisture is also increasing. You can see this. Okay, let us put a line here. So I'll just close this one. come back to my commander, and I'll, instead of going back to this, you can see this scatter plot code has been created for you. Okay, it says scatter plot in the two variables here. Okay, on the y-axis I had soil earth moisture, and on the x-axis the cover. This is a regression line which is false right now. I'll just change this to true because I want to see one regression line there. Okay, smooth as the rest. I'll just keep it false. Let us keep the box plot as, or let us keep it false only right now. I'll just select this now. You can select this and click on submit. Okay, and here you can see now I've got a nice line here. Okay, which as soon as I look at this line itself, it will tell me that there's a proper relationship between these two variables. With the increase of the cover, the soil moisture is also increasing. Okay, so it gives you a definite relationship between the two, you can say, columns or the variables. Okay, it's that simple. Fine. Now, if suppose, let us say, I want to make use of some linear regression model on this particular data. If I want to use this in the above, the plot which we just saw, okay, we can definitely say there's a positive relationship. Okay, but if I want to know, how strong that relationship is, okay, I need to get the, or if I want to know the significance of the relationship between the two variables, I need to get some more information. Okay, and to get this, we can make use of the linear regression model. Okay, and to fit the linear regression model on my data in the statistics column. So if we go to this R commander prompt in under statistics here, this menu, I have the option called fit models. Okay, which is at the end here, this one, and we have two options, either linear regression or we have the linear model. Okay, because I'll be, let us select the linear model and see what we have here. So I'll select linear model, which will give me an option like this. Okay, I can create a model, the linear regression model here, and select the variables properly. Now, the default name which I'm getting here is linear model.1. If you want, you can change this name as well. Okay, and if this model is already there, because might be I have created multiple models when I was practicing out this. Okay, there might be some model which is already there. So in that case, what will happen is like in the previous case for the data set also, I got an option whether you want to override that. The similar option will come for this as well. Okay, now I don't want that option because I'll create another model called 21. So linear model dot 21, that is what I'll be creating. Now, the first variable which I want to, get. So I'll select soil moisture as your response variable. Okay, because based on your cover, the soil moisture is changing. If the soil cover is more, the soil moisture is also more. Okay, so I can say that the soil moisture depends on the cover, right? The soil cover. So the dependent variable, okay, here would be the cover. Okay, so when we are creating the model formula here, the first variable here would be your soil moisture. Okay, this one. Okay, and here I'll get the cover. So I'll just double click here. I'll get the cover. Okay, we can also have multiple variables. Let us say, one of my variable is the, is depending on multiple variables. Okay, so I can create another model where I can have multiple variables here. I have to just click on this plus sign here, okay, like this, and keep on adding the other variables as well. Okay, so it is possible to add multiple variables as well. Right now, I don't require it. I have only one variable called cover. Okay. Now I won't do any other changes here. I'll just click on OK and see what I get. So I'll click on OK. Here you can see after getting creating that particular model, this code has been created for you. So I've got this name of the model, linear model dot 21. Okay, LM is for linear model. This is the variable which I had selected in the in the model when we double click on the variable that is coming here. The data set is coming here, right? And the summary of this linear model is getting displayed. So this becomes my summary. Okay, so I get this fall and output. Residuals are getting displayed. Residuals are the values which are left out, while doing the calculations. Now, and these are the coefficients here, and some standard residual, standard error, and so on. And we'll come to this later on. But now, if I want to look at the distribution, okay, let us say I want to represent this into a graph for this particular model. Okay, so to do that, we can go to this model diagnostic for the linear model. Okay, so I can go to models and go to graphs. So here we have in the menu models, model is created, and under this we have graphs option. Okay, so here we have this basic model diagnostic option. So we have this option, the first option, click on this one. Okay, and I get whatever model was created. I just get the different diagrams for this. Okay, so we have this residual versus fitted, then we have normal QQ, okay, scale location. Let us try to understand what is all this. Okay, we have less than 1 minute. I request you all to come back. I'll just stop this share. Okay, please join again. I'll explain you what this chart is all about. So